My husband gave me a diamond necklace for our anniversary with a card addressed to Kate, and when I googled the name, I found out he has a 3-year-old child I never knew existed. I feel like my entire world has just dissolved into ash in the span of 3 hours. To give you some background, my husband, let's call him Mark, and I have been married for 5 years, together for 7. We were supposed to be the golden couple. We rarely fight, we have great jobs, and we were just starting to talk about trying for a baby of our own next year. Tonight was our 5th wedding anniversary. Mark booked a table at the most expensive Italian restaurant in the city. The kind of place where you have to know someone to get a reservation on a Friday night. Everything was perfect. The wine, the food, the way he looked at me across the candlelight, it felt like a movie. Then came the dessert and the gift. He slid a velvet box across the table with this smug, loving grin that I used to adore. I opened it, and it was stunning. A diamond solitaire pendant, exactly the style I love. I was already tearing up, feeling so lucky, until I pulled out the small white envelope tucked underneath the velvet insert. I assumed it was a love note for me. I opened it, and my blood ran cold. It didn't say my name. It said, "To Kate, for giving me the greatest gift of all. Always yours, Mark." I froze. I stared at the card for what felt like an eternity. When I looked up, Mark was sipping his wine, looking pleased with himself. I asked him who Kate was, my voice trembling. He frowned, took the card from me, and let out a laugh that sounded a little too practiced. He told me it must have been a mix-up at the jeweler, that the clerk was handling 3 orders at once and must have swapped the cards. He apologized profusely, called the clerk an idiot, and told me the necklace was definitely for me. He even made a joke about how he hopes Kate enjoys her card about our anniversary. I wanted to believe him. I really did. So I put on a smile, finished my wine, and we went home. But the name Kate stuck in my brain like a splinter. While he was in the shower getting ready for bed, hoping to get lucky, I grabbed my phone. I didn't even know what I was looking for. I typed in Mark, last name, Kate in our city. The third result was a public baby registry from 3 years ago on a generic parenting site. Kate, surname, and Mark, last name, welcome baby Leo. I clicked it. There was a photo. It was undeniably my husband, holding a newborn, looking at the baby with a tenderness that shattered my heart. I scrolled down. There was a link to a blog post Kate had written about single motherhood and co-parenting with a busy travel executive. Mark works in sales. He travels all the time. I feel like I'm going to throw up. He is in the bedroom right now, waiting for me to come to bed on our anniversary. I have been living a lie. He has a 3-year-old child. That means he got someone pregnant 2 years into our marriage. I am terrified and furious, and I don't know what to do next. He's right outside the door. Do I walk out there and scream at him? Do I pretend everything is fine so I can get more proofs? Please, I need help. Commenter 1. Do not confront him yet. I know you're hurting, but if you blow up now, he will go into damage control mode. He'll delete messages, hide money, and gaslight you into thinking you're crazy. That store mix-up excuse was already a test to see how gullible you are. You need to be cold and calculating. Go out there, say you have a migraine from the wine, and go to sleep. Tomorrow, you start digging. Commenter 2. This is devastating. I'm so sorry, but you need to protect yourself. If he has a secret child, he has secret finances. That necklace? Probably bought with the same account he uses to pay for the kid. Don't let him know you know until you have copies of bank statements, phone records, and screenshots of that registry. If you confront him now, he'll just lie more. Update 1. 3 days later. I read every single one of your comments while sitting on the bathroom floor that night, and honestly, you guys probably saved me from doing something stupid like throwing a lamp at his head. I took the advice. I washed my face, went into the bedroom, and told Mark that the rich food and wine had triggered a massive migraine. I could see the disappointment in his eyes, which actually made me feel sick to my stomach, but he bought it. He kissed my forehead and rolled over to sleep. I didn't sleep at all. I lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to the breathing of a man I realized I didn't know at all. Every time he shifted, I flinched. The next morning, Saturday, he went to play golf, or so he said. Usually, I use that time to clean or catch up on reading, but this time I went into full detective mode. I knew I had about 4 hours. I started with our home office. We have a shared filing cabinet, but he has a locked drawer he always said was for client confidentiality. I've never snooped before because I trusted him implicitly. I found the key hidden in a hollowed-out book on the shelf, a trick he showed me years ago for burglars, ironically. Inside, I didn't find client files. I found a separate burner phone and a stack of bank statements for an account I'd never seen. My hands were shaking so hard I dropped the papers twice. I went to the statements. Monthly transfers of $2,500 to K. Miller. Occasional large withdrawals at ATMs in a town about 40 minutes away. And then, the receipt for the necklace. He bought 2 necklaces. One was the diamond pendant he gave me. The other was a gold locket. The receipt date was from last week. He bought them at the same time. The card mix-up wasn't a mistake by the clerk. It was a mistake by him. He likely had both cards and put the wrong one in my box. I turned on the burner phone. It wasn't passcode. The wallpaper was a picture of him and a little boy, Leo, at a park. I went to the texts. There were hundreds of messages between him and Kate. I scrolled back to our anniversary dinner. Kate, did you give her the gift? I hate that you're with her tonight. Mark, it's all for appearances, babe. You know I love you. I'll be over on Sunday to see Leo. I got you something special. I felt like I had been punched in the chest. Appearances. 5 years of marriage, 7 years of life together, and I was just appearances so he could maintain his image? I took photos of everything. The texts, the bank statements, the receipt, the photo of the child. I backed them up to a cloud account he doesn't have access to and emailed them to my sister. When he came home from golf, I was sitting at the kitchen island. I hadn't showered. I hadn't eaten. The diamond necklace was sitting on the counter in front of me. He walked in, all smiles, asking how my migraine was. I didn't look up. I asked him calmly if Kate liked the locket. The color drained from his face faster than I've ever seen. He dropped his golf bag. He tried to stutter out a denial, asking what I was talking about, but I held up the burner phone. I told him I knew about Leo. I told him I knew about the money. I told him I read the texts where he called our marriage an appearance. He didn't get angry. He started crying. He fell to his knees in the middle of the kitchen, sobbing like a child. He told me it wasn't what I thought. He claimed Kate was a mistake from a one-night stand during a rough patch we had 3 years ago. We didn't have a rough patch. He said she trapped him, that she threatened to tell me if he didn't pay up, and that he only said those things to her to keep her calm so she wouldn't blow up our life. He swore he loved me and that the boy meant nothing to him, that he was just taking responsibility. I wanted to believe him. God help me. A part of me wanted to believe that he was just a victim of blackmail. But then I remembered the text, to Kate, for giving me the greatest gift of all. I told him to get out. He refused. He said this was his house too and we needed to talk this through. He tried to hug me, and I screamed. I actually screamed at the top of my lungs. I told him if he didn't leave, I would print out the photos of him and Leo and post them on his LinkedIn, his Facebook, and send them to his boss. He left. He's staying at a hotel downtown. He has been texting me nonstop for the last 24 hours, sending me flowers, sending me voice notes of him crying. He says he will cut them off, that he will sign away rights to the kid, anything to keep me. I feel broken. I'm sitting in a house we built together, looking at photos of our wedding, and wondering if any of it was real. He is begging for one chance to explain the timeline and offering to go to therapy. He says he can prove Kate is manipulative and that he was trying to protect me. Is there any world where this is salvageable? Or is he just trying to manipulate me now? Commenter 1. Honey, listen to me. He isn't protecting you. He bought her a locket and called her his forever love on a card. He told her your marriage is for appearances. He is lying to her about you, and lying to you about her. He is a master manipulator. Do not let him come back. Do not go to therapy with an abuser, and yes, this level of deception is abuse. Commenter 2. He will sign away rights to the kid. This right here tells you everything you need to know about his character. If he is willing to abandon his own flesh and blood, a 3-year-old innocent child, just to save his own skin and comfort, he is a sociopath. If he'll do it to Leo, he will do it to you. Run. Commenter 3. The text said I hate that you're with her. That implies a long-term emotional affair, not blackmail. He's playing both of you. He tells her he hates you. He tells you he hates her. He's the common denominator. Change the locks. Lawyer up. Now. Update 2. 10 days later. I didn't think it was possible to feel more gutted than I did on our anniversary. But the last 10 days have been a masterclass in humiliation. After reading your comments on my last post, something clicked in my brain. The comment about him being a sociopath for being willing to abandon his son, Leo, kept replaying in my head. I realized you were right. A man who can discard a child he held in his arms is a man capable of anything. I stopped crying and started acting. On Monday, I met with a divorce lawyer. I brought everything, the screenshots, the bank statements, the photo of the registry. My lawyer, a shark of a woman named Sarah, looked through the documents with a grim expression. She told me to brace myself. She ordered a forensic accounting of our finances immediately. 2 days later, the results came back. It wasn't just the $2,500 monthly allowance. Mark had taken out a second line of credit on our house without my knowledge. He forged my signature. He had drained our emergency travel fund, which I rarely checked because we were saving it for a trip to Japan, almost entirely. In total, he has siphoned off nearly $60,000 of our marital assets over the last 3 years. While I was digesting the fact that my financial future was in jeopardy, Mark was escalating. He went from "I'm sorry, I love you" texts to "you're being irrational" and "I need my clothes, stop locking me out." I didn't reply. Instead, I looked at the burner phone again. I knew what I had to do. I needed to know the truth about the timeline he was so desperate to explain. But I wasn't going to ask him. I called Kate. My heart was hammering against my ribs so hard I thought it would crack them. It rang 4 times. Keno, her voice was cheerful. In the background, I could hear a cartoon playing and a child laughing. Leo. Hi, I said, my voice shaking. Is this Kate? Yes, who is this? This is Kate. This is Mark's wife. The woman from the anniversary card. Silence. Absolute, suffocating silence. I expected her to hang up. I expected her to scream. Instead, she let out a confused, shaky breath. Mark's wife? You mean his ex? The roommate? I froze. Roommate? Mark told me you two have been separated for 2 years, Kate said, her voice dropping to a whisper. He said you were living together in separate bedrooms until the housing market improved so you could sell the house. He said you were emotionally unstable and refused to sign the divorce papers unless he stayed in the guest room. I felt the room spin. Kate, I slept in the same bed with him 10 days ago. We were celebrating our 5th anniversary. We were trying for a baby. I heard a gasp on the other end, and then the sound of her crying. Not the angry crying I expected, but the heartbroken, shattered sobbing of a woman realizing her reality was a lie. We stayed on the phone for 3 hours. Everything Mark told me was a lie. Everything he told her was a lie. They met 4 years ago at a conference. They started dating immediately. He told her our marriage was dead, that I was cold and asexual, I am not, and that he was only staying out of obligation. When she got pregnant with Leo, he promised her he would leave me by the time the baby was born. Then, the excuses started. The market is bad. She's depressed. Her mother is sick. My mother is in perfect health. He has been living a double life down to the minute. When he was on business trips, he was with her. When he was working late, he was FaceTiming Leo. That locket I found? It has a picture of Mark, Kate, and Leo inside. He gave it to her the day before our anniversary, telling her he had to attend a work gala on Friday night. The gala was our anniversary dinner. She sent me screenshots of their texts. He calls me the landlady. He complains about my cooking. He mocks the way I dress. Reading those texts killed the last tiny, pathetic ember of love I had for him. He wasn't just cheating. He was building a bond with her by demonizing me. And the worst part? He was doing the same to her. He told me she was a mistake and a blackmailer. He told her I was crazy and suicidal. He made us both into monsters to keep himself the hero in his own twisted narrative. Kate is furious. She's not the enemy I thought she was. She's just another victim. She apologized to me over and over, saying she would never have kept seeing him if she knew we were still a real couple. I believe her. Mark is coming over tomorrow evening. He thinks I've cooled down. He texted me saying, "Can I just come by to pick up some suits and maybe we can talk? I miss you." I told him yes, but I'm not doing this alone. Kate wants to be there. She wants to bring Leo. She says she wants him to look his son in the eye and explain why he called him a mistake to his wife. She wants to blow his world apart the way he did to ours. My lawyer says this is a bad idea. She says it could escalate. But I am so angry, I can't see straight. I want him to walk through that door expecting his compliant, golden couple and find the two women he pitted against each other standing side by side. My lawyer advised against the ambush, saying it could look bad in court or turn dangerous. But Kate is adamant she's coming, and honestly, I want to see the look on his face. Is it worth the risk to confront him together? Or should I tell Kate to stay away and handle him legally? Commenter 1. Listen to your lawyer. I know revenge tastes sweet, but Mark has already proven he is unhinged. He has lied for years, forged signatures, and manipulated 2 women. If he feels cornered, he might snap. You do not want a volatile man in your house with a 3-year-old child present. Do not let Kate bring Leo. That is traumatizing for the kid. Commenter 2. I disagree with the lawyer. He needs to be exposed. If you do this, though, you need safety in numbers. Have a male friend or a brother there, hidden in the kitchen or something. Do not be alone with him. And record everything. If he admits to the forgery or the double life on camera, that's ammo for your divorce. But please, tell Kate to leave the kid at home. Leo doesn't need to see his dad getting destroyed. Update 3. The confrontation. I didn't listen to my lawyer. I didn't listen to the commenters who said to play it safe. I was running on pure adrenaline and rage, and so was Kate. However, I did take the advice about Leo. I called Kate back and told her that under no circumstances was she bringing a 3-year-old to a sword fight. She argued at first, saying Leo needed to see who his father really was, but I stood my ground. He is 3, Kate. He won't understand. He'll just be scared. She eventually agreed and left him with her mother. I also took the advice about safety. I called my older brother, Dave. Dave is 6 feet 2 inches, works construction, and has never liked Mark. When I told him everything, the baby, the money, the lies, he didn't say a word. He just said, "I'll be there at 5 o'clock. The plan was simple. Mark was coming at 6 p.m. Dave parked his truck down the street and came in through the back. He sat in the kitchen, out of sight from the hallway but close enough to intervene if things got physical. Kate arrived at 5:30. Seeing her in person was surreal. She looked so normal. She was pretty, looking exhausted and anxious, clutching that gold locket in her hand like a talisman. We didn't hug. We just nodded at each other. 2 soldiers in a war we didn't ask for. We sat on the living room sofa, side by side. At 6:05, the key turned in the lock. "Babe?" Mark's voice echoed in the hallway. He sounded tentative, hopeful. "I brought pizza. I thought maybe we could." He walked into the living room. He was holding a pizza box and a bouquet of lilies. He looked at me, a practiced, sad smile on his face. Then he saw Kate. The pizza box hit the floor. I'm not exaggerating. He literally dropped it. The noise was loud in the silent house. His face went from confusion to absolute, sheer terror. He looked back at the door, like he was going to run, then back at us. "What?" he croaked. "What is this?" "Hi Mark," Kate said. Her voice was ice cold. The landlady and I were just comparing notes. Mark turned red, then purple. He looked at me. You called her? You spoke to her?" "We spoke about everything, Mark," I said, standing up. "We talked about the separate bedrooms. We talked about how I'm emotionally unstable. We talked about how you were going to leave me 3 years ago." He started stammering, his hands waving in front of him. No, you don't understand. She's lying. Kate is obsessed with me. I told you. She's trying to ruin us." Kate stood up then. She walked right up to him. "Obsessed? You texted me 3 hours ago saying you couldn't wait to hold me tonight. You said she pointed at me, was making your life a living hell and you just needed to get your suits so you could stay with me for a few days. Mark looks trapped. He tried to pivot. He looked at me, eyes wide and pleading. Honey, please. It's not what it looks like. I said those things to keep her quiet. I was protecting you. She's crazy. Stop, I said. Just stop. We know about the money, Mark. We know about the forged credit line. We know about the travel fund. His face changed instantly. The pleading look vanished, replaced by a sneer I had never seen before. It was ugly. So that's it, he spat. You two hens got together and plucked it all out? You think you're so smart? He took a step toward me. You have no idea what I've done for this marriage. I supported you. I kept you happy. You stole $60,000 from me. I screamed. He lunged. I don't know what he intended to do, grab me, hit me, or just scare me, but he took a violent step forward with his fist clenched. Dave stepped out of the kitchen. Take one more step, Mark, my brother said, his voice low and dangerous. Please. Give me a reason. Mark froze. He looked at Dave, then at me, then at Kate. The air left the room. He realized he was completely outmatched. He straightened his jacket, trying to regain some shred of dignity, but he looked small, pathetic. Fine, Mark said. You want to blow this up? Fine, I'll leave. But don't expect a penny. I'll bury you in legal fees. And you, he pointed at Kate, you'll never see a dime of child support. I'll demand a paternity test. I'll drag you through the mud. I already have a paternity test, Kate said calmly. And I have all the texts where you acknowledged him. You're done, Mark. He stared at us for one last second, pure hatred in his eyes, and then turned and walked out. He slammed the front door so hard the windows rattled. Kate and I stood there in the silence. My brother walked over and put a hand on my shoulder. I looked at the smashed pizza on the floor and the lilies scattered on the rug. I started to laugh. It was a hysterical, terrifying laugh. Kate started crying. We ended up sitting on the floor, me laughing and her crying, while my brother swept up the pizza. But the relief was short-lived. An hour later, my phone started blowing up. Mark had gone on Facebook. He posted a long, rambling status update claiming that I had been abusing him for years, that I was mentally ill, and that a stalker, Kate, had teamed up with me to destroy his reputation. He tagged his family, our friends, even his boss. He is spinning a narrative that I am the abuser. And then, I got a notification from my bank app. Suspicious activity detected. He is trying to drain the last joint account we have. The one I thought I had frozen, but apparently, the bank missed one. He has gone scorched earth and is trying to steal the last of the money. Half our friends are texting me asking if I'm okay or why I abused him. I want to delete my social media and hide, but Kate says we should post the proof publicly, the texts, the registry, everything. Should I fight fire with fire and expose him online, or keep it for the court case? Commenter 1. Do not post anything. I repeat, do not engage in a Facebook war. Right now, he is looking manic and unstable. If you post private texts, he can sue you for privacy violations or claim you doctored them, making the divorce messier. Let your lawyer handle the defamation. Send a cease and desist. Silence is your loudest weapon right now. Commenter 2. Call the bank's fraud department immediately. Since you already flagged the account for forensic accounting, any large transfer should have been stopped. If you managed to move it, the bank is liable. As for the friends, send a generic, classy text. I am saddened by Mark's public outburst. Legal proceedings are underway regarding his financial fraud and infidelity. I appreciate your privacy. That tells them everything without looking like you're mudslinging. Commenter 3. Kate is a loose cannon, and I love her for it, but she needs to chill too. If she posts, it blows back on you. Focus on the money. If he stole $60,000 and is trying to take more, that's criminal. You need to press charges, not just divorce him. Get him for embezzlement or fraud. Put him in jail. Update 4. 8 months later. It has been 8 months since the worst night of my life, and I am writing this from the balcony of my new apartment. I finally have a moment of peace to tell you how it all ended. That night, after I read your comments, I didn't post on Facebook. I didn't feed the troll. Instead, I called the bank's emergency fraud line. Because my lawyer had already flagged our accounts due to the unauthorized credit line, the transfer Mark attempted was flagged as suspicious and frozen and pending. He didn't get a dime. The social media storm, however, was a different beast. Mark was spiraling. He posted 3 more times that night, ranting about how I was cold and how I refused to give him a child, which was a lie that hurt more than I care to admit. I stayed silent. But Kate didn't have a divorce settlement or a house on the line. She saw his post calling her a stalker. She didn't ask me for permission. She just went into the comments section of his poor me status update. She posted one single photo, the picture of the 3 of them of Mark, Kate, and Leo, from the locket he gave her, time-stamped from the day before our anniversary. She captioned it, date night, 24 hours before you gave your wife a diamond necklace. Leo says hi to his daddy. It was nuclear. Mark deleted his Facebook profile within 10 minutes, but the screenshots were already circulating. Our mutual friends, his cousins, and even 2 of his coworkers saw it. The narrative shifted instantly from poor Mark to Mark is a monster. The divorce was a war of attrition. Mark tried everything. He tried to claim the $60,000 he stole was marital spending used for our lifestyle. My lawyer, Sarah, who is an absolute goddess, by the way, pulled the receipts. She found hotel bookings under Kate's name paid for by our joint account. She found flights. She found cash withdrawals at casinos. Because of the financial infidelity and the forged signature on the home equity line, the judge was not amused. We settled 3 weeks ago. I got the house, which I immediately put on the market, my car, and 70% of the remaining assets to cover what he stole. He got his debt and his shame. He also lost his job. Remember how I mentioned he worked in sales for a company that values image? Well, when you go scorched earth on social media and people start tagging your employer asking if they condone financial fraud, HR takes notice. He was let go without cause about 2 months into the separation. Last I heard, he's living in a studio apartment on the other side of town, working a commission-only gig that pays peanuts. I know a lot of you were worried about Kate being dangerous or me getting too close to her. We aren't besties. We don't go out for drinks, but we have a quiet, respectful understanding. We met for coffee once after the dust settled. She looked better, lighter. She told me she's suing him for child support. And since he has no money, the court is garnishing his wages directly. She apologized again for believing his lies about me. I told her I forgave her. I met Leo, too. Just for a second. He's a beautiful little boy. He has Mark's eyes, which stung a bit, but he has Kate's smile. He waved at me and offered me a half-eaten cracker. It was a moment of closure I didn't know I needed. That child is innocent. He deserves a father, but since he got stuck with Mark, at least he has a fierce mother. I found the diamond necklace while packing up the house last week. For months, I couldn't look at it without feeling nauseous. It represented the moment my life broke into pieces. I thought about throwing it into the river. I thought about smashing it with a hammer. Instead, I took it to a pawn shop. I didn't get what he paid for it, obviously, but I got a decent chunk of change. I took that money, added it to what I saved by not paying Mark's car insurance anymore, and I booked a flight. I'm going to Japan. It was the trip we were saving for. The trip he stole from me to pay for his double lives. I'm going alone. I'm going to eat sushi, see the cherry blossoms. I'm going next spring, and figure out who I am when I'm not Mark's wife. I'm 32 years old. I'm single. I'm a little traumatized, and I have trust issues I'll probably be working on in therapy for years. But I'm free. Thank you, Reddit. You told me to check the registry. You told me to protect the money. You told me to run. You saved me from wasting another 5 years on a man who didn't exist. I'm leaving the bathroom floor now.